the back of the church.
That's where the very narrow steps are.
Yeah.
So can you describe that entrance to the...
I wouldn't go and do it.
Robert also remembered a woman holding a baby coming out of the craft shortly after he had been let out. Robert was ill for a few days following the abduction. For 2 days his eyes watered and he suffered headaches. A small triangular-shaped mark appeared on his left cheek, which remained until he was about 13. After the events, Robert was intimidated and threatened by officials who he presumed were from the army or the government, who said that he would be killed if he said anything. A high-ranking man from the Air Force interviewed him and asked him to provide an account of what he saw. He remembers the Air Force official was called Marshall. He handed Robert a child's spinning top and asked him if this is what the craft looked like. Several months after running out of all leads in this inquiry, I decided to contact Robert again and ask him if he would revisit the place where it all took place so that he could relive the events of 1940. Robert kindly gave me some books which document some of the more well-known UFO cases from the 1940s. We'll take that away and have a look at it. Okay, so just to go back to the sighting, Robert, in 1940 and everything that happened to you, we tried to find
Newspapers.
Well, we tried to find newspapers.
Well, there was a major, I think it was Australian, I'm not sure. He had this, the queerest kind of uniform. Very bright turquoise colour uniform. And I heard later on how to get rid of them because they'll be easy targets, for the Germans in the war. But he was going to stop the newspapers being printed or get them destroyed. There was one lad that said there was one piece in one of the newspapers, and he told me. But, I wasn't really interested, Well, why did they keep it up quiet all these years? I was told if I said out, I'd be murdered.
Mm-hmm.
They put the wind up me. And it wasn't the aliens what frightened us. Well, they were horrible to look at.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the blinking, the security,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
So we've also tried to locate this. You were with another boy when you were sitting on the wall.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, he'd be an old man now, like me.
Aye.
He's about 2 years older than me now.
Yeah. So, is it okay if we go down there with you and you can just try and pinpoint which was his house? Do you think you'd be able to point his...
I probably could. Aye.
Right. Okay.
Because I used to carry these batteries, glass batteries for him into his backyard,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because they were the batteries that powered the radios.
He had a portable radio. Also, he had a bike turned upside down with a wheel, and he used to try to work the radio with the bike.
Aye. So you had like a little generator or something like that.
I didn't have a generator. I didn't, I wasn't. But that was powering the radio, the basic upside down.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So I'm rolling the camera now. So when you went to
Mona Allen shop
on that morning,
for me father's paper,
right, which is the morning that the Grey chased you.
Mm-hmm.
Whereabouts were you? Did you run up past this corner?
I go straight up this street.
Up this street,
right? Run here, straight along there.
Okay.
So I run like hell along here.
Do you want to walk along then?
Right, I'll walk along here, but I've got my stick with.
So you were running along here.
You've gone in fast, really fast.
And you hadn't seen it at this point.
No, nah.
And then
I just glanced here, where that pole is. That's where it came. It was where that second pole is down the street.
Okay, so it was that second pole.
It seemed to come out of somebody's backyard.
Right. Okay, and so it ran up here.
It seen me, and I was away like a rocket. I run like hell, got to this corner. And I fell over that, as I run, it was right up behind us, and I fell over this curb. Here, I fell over here.
Right. So just explain that again, Rob. You fell?
I fell over the curb here.
You fell over that curb, right?
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Well, I only had the cord here. and he smashed the seat in with a shovel.
Right. So where was the alien when he did that?
It was on top of me.
Right. So it was there. Okay.
Then they dragged it from here, but he pulled it so far, and he says, I was shaking, and he says, Sergeant Brooks will be on the Southwell Road, come along, get him. And I will run up the back lane, up the front, around behind one of Holland's.
Right.
And Brooksy come around, and both of them dragged it into that cold place there.
Yeah.
We're standing watching thousands of soldiers going along here.
Just the soldiers were walking along here.
Thousands of them.
Thousands. And basically you were around about here.
Yeah, watching thousands of them.
And then what happened? When
we just looked up like that, and we seen it coming down, and we thought it was just a balloon at first.
So you saw just a bright light in the sky.
Funny shape, like a cornet. Watching from the height.
Yeah.
And there was a few other soldiers standing there. There was a few other soldiers standing there. And after a while, we just turned around and run straight down there. Well, he says, I'm going for my dinner, or something to eat. And I didn't think it was dinner time, it was in the afternoon. But he run that way and I run that way.
Okay, do you want to walk down?
Straight into them, eh?
Do you want to walk down?
I can walk down.
Like the invisible barrier?
It wasn't invisible, the barrier was invisible, but the things were on the wall each side. There was one on each side.
Right, okay. Which is where we portrayed it in the...
Yeah, no, but everything's changed.
So then...
It was on the wall, and it was like about 2 foot something high on this wall.
Right.
And there was one over there.
Okay. And the UFO was basically just right here, right in front of us now. Okay. And then it moved.
Yeah. Hey, look at the cat through the window. Watch it. Hey, but you see, he went that. Was going to go that way, and I was going to go that way.
Okay.
And there was aliens here.
Right.
And we'd run straight into them, and they wouldn't let we couldn't go that way or that way.
Your house was down there on Headley Street, which is just down that lane.
Yeah.
And his house was along here on Newton Street.
Yeah.
And so he was going to go that way. You were going to go that way.
And we were surrounded.
So they had knocked all these walls down.
A lot of them.
The area shelters.
A lot of them. That's how it was in there. And I think it was about here we were tucked in. Yeah. There was a little ramp. It's either that one or this one. Were tucked into the in the next diamond.
Right. So this behind this wall here is where the craft was, basically in somebody's backyard. That's where it moved
That's what I was doing, and all that, and so was that. And the craft was in one of these. I think it was in here.
During my research, I have spent many hours trying to identify the boy Robert Hall was with on the day of the sighting. Robert cannot remember the boy's name, but remembers approximately which house he lived in.
He's got to be here. It's got to be one of these.
So the boy who you were with lived in one of these ones here?
It's got to be one of these.
Okay.
Because I didn't get that far along. So it must have been about here, somewhere here.
Right. So it's the one with the light-coloured wooden fence. So we'll find out what number that is, and then we'll look at the names again on the electoral roll.
After getting